What is going on, guys? It is time for another episode of the Chasing Waypoints podcast. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm surprised I even remember how to turn this thing on. It's mic check here. Yep, it's working. What is going on, guys? Good morning. We are back, and we're having some fun. It is Baja 1000 race week. We got a lot going on coming up in these coming weeks, including some stuff I'm going to drop here in a little bit. You might have seen it already on the Instagram if you follow us on there, or not. But let's turn down the party a little bit, and let's get right to it. We have no time to waste because, again, it is the Baja 1000 2024. Baja 1000 coming in hot this week. Teams are out pre-running and making things happen with some interesting news. A new team joining the ranks in the series, only for this last race. So we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But I don't know. What have you guys been up to? Everybody been having some fun? I mean, I think it's been pretty good. So, new studio setup. As you guys can see, this will be going out onto the Spotify side of things. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know. We'll try this video podcast. You guys, audio is still going to be number one. As a matter of fact, for you, our loyal podcast listeners, I'm going to drop a link down below with the private viewing link as ahead of the rest of the world that's going to be seeing it later this week. But we'll talk more about that here in a minute. It'll be an exclusive here to the podcast. So for you guys that have been sticking with us for now going on almost 4 years, 250 something episodes already, and looking for a lot more. I think we're going to hit number 300 coming up here for the 2025 Dakar. So hopefully you guys are tuned in and staying around for that one. It's going to be awesome. We've got a lot of guests getting lined up for that one. Ace Nilsson, David Pearson, David Black. I think we've got, we may have a couple of others that are coming on board as well. Going to be talking about nutrition, talking about the day ins, the day outs, and all of that stuff. The idea is to try and bring a different perspective to you guys. Different, experience than what our factory teams go. We're going to try and get Skylar Howes. We'll try and get Ricky Brabeck. Of course, we're going to try and get Mason Klein. He's got a really big schedule, testing and testing, and probably an announcement soon of what he's been testing. So you guys should stay tuned for that one as well. So. Okay, let's get right back into it. Baja 1000 is this week coming up. Pre-running is going on now. It's been open now for a couple of weeks, and the teams are down there, and man, are they getting beat up. First reports back is the course is rough. So typical Baja fashion, it's going to be a proving ground for a lot of these bikes. Interesting enough, it's going to be proving grounds for one of the latest Kove rally bikes. That is the FE, if I'm remembering correctly, that is going to be the newest iteration of the Rally Pro. So you've got a couple of different bikes in the Kove offering when it comes to the 450 Rally. You've got your standards, low, high, that kind of deal. That is going to be your street style, dual sport version, the layman's rally bike. It's a really, really impressive bike. It's done so much already. And I mean, you'll find out a little bit more about it. We'll talk about that link that's going to be here in just a minute. So from there, you've got the newest version. You've got the Rally Pros, and the Rally Pros are the ones, full stop, right? You've got titanium hardware. You've got race exhausts. You've got more modifications on their water tanks, things like that. Things that the Dakar has mandated, but also what you would expect from a factory bike, right? All the hardware, all the little things, ins and outs of it. It's really, really cool. Carbon fiber tower up front. Holds all the roadbook navigation stuff, and honestly, dollar for dollar, it can't be beat. I mean, you can't get the RFR here in the States, so the closest you're going to get to it is the Rally Pro, and the Rally Pro from or Rally Factory Pro from Kove. I believe you can still pick them up right now. They still got a few of them left, and they were running some kind of sale on it. So. If you were thinking about ever racing, or you live in a state that's a little more liberal with its registrations, that might be a bike that you would consider. Really, really awesome. I think it's a really, really good setup. It's a known recipe now. A lot more information is starting to get out there. A lot more information is going to be coming. Again, announcing that we're going to be working with somebody here in the industry to talk a little bit more about how these bikes are coming together. What are some of the things that need to be maybe modified, done, adjusted, find the pain points, that kind of thing. All bikes have them. It's just a matter of, flushing them out. Which one's worse? Which one's better? Which one's lighter on the pocketbook when it comes time to address it? There's a lot to it on that one. So that being said, it is definitely interesting to see how these rally bikes now are being taken into Baja and being raced. There's a few teams that have actually been racing this in one of the newest classes available from the Kove International Racing organization. So this allows for a rally style bike, right, with big fuel, with a fairing, to compete in its own class against other like bikes. So it's really, really cool to see that adaptation of it. Could we be seeing some roadbook stuff coming? I don't know. The Nora Mexican 1000 has been one of those ones that definitely has made that switch. And while there was a little bit of pain and suffering, coming into it and getting that class started, people were they were down. They were like, all right, well, if we got to do it, we're going to do it this way. And, just like we've seen and we've heard before, not everybody sold their stuff after that first event. A lot of people signed right back up. They're getting ready for it. We've got another edition of that one coming back. Hopefully we're down there for that one this year, live and on the ground. That would be absolutely awesome to do that. But we'll see. We still got a little bit of time before it's race time. So from there, you've got that coming. So now is the Kove International Racing team. So enter Mike Johnson, enter Jim Pearson, Marcos Molinar, Jordan Risi, Sergio. It's a mixture of different riders from different parts of North America. And it is, it's pretty cool. This came together. For those of you not familiar, Mike Johnson is the one that has created the rally comp. That's been his thing for several years now. I joined the team a couple years back after working with Baja Rally as the organization and working that. And, Mike Johnson, fresh off the podium. Also Jim Pearson, fresh off the podium at Baja Rally this year. And now they're going to be headed to the Baja 1000. They're going to be aboard the newest bike. This is the bike that's going to be slated to go to the Dakar. Not these exact bikes, but this generation of bikes is what you're going to be seeing some of these new riders coming up with. And there's a big announcement coming soon on that one. We hope to hear soon what's going on with that. So I won't say anything yet. I got to wait for them to say, yes, it's now news you can share. So once they get to the starting line on these bikes, it's going to be interesting to see. There's a lot of teams already racing the Kove. The Kove has actually been proving itself, down there already all score season. Hopefully we could try and get some of those guys on the show and talk a little bit more about that, racing rally bikes down in the Baja style races. For those of you not familiar, or I know we get a lot of people that are here on the channel that are avid listeners and, greatly appreciate it. I thank you guys for sticking with us. So a lot of you guys know what the rally side of thing is, rally sides of things. So roadbook navigation, that kind of, genre of racing. The score type stuff is more of a sprint race. And a lot of you guys already know that is more sprint racing type. So course markers, GPS tracks, virtual checkpoints instead of waypoints, instead of waypoint mass. They tell you where the VCPs are, virtual checkpoints. So it's very, very interesting. Before it was score would put out, you would have a checkpoint, you'd have a stub can, you'd have to put a little ticket in the thing. And then that's how it worked, right? You'd show up to this thing. Well, what they discovered obviously years later was if you knew where the checkpoints were, you knew where the course didn't have to be and where it could be in order to make it there. And so I've been literally sitting feet from people talking about it in the conversation, talking about, these massive cuts where they actually literally had to stop and wait because they knew it was way too much time that they had saved and they had done. And so I guess that's part of the homework. I guess that's part of the pre-running, but obviously the times have changed. Kove International has done a great job of mitigating that kind of stuff. You still see it a little bit. You still see it sometimes. They're having to do now things where it's like basically if we catch you on these particular trails or these particular roads, you will be disqualified because people are starting to do the math and go, well, if I miss this waypoint or if I miss this virtual checkpoint, I can make that time up by doing this, or I'm not going to beat myself up by doing it this way. So there's a lot of strategy that's going on there. So we'll see. Hopefully that's going to change a little bit soon. But anyway, I digress. We've got Kove Rally Bikes racing the Baja 1000 this year, again, with Mike Johnson leading the team at Kove International Racing Team. And then from there with another host of a few riders, again, fresh off the Baja Rally podium. Very, very awesome to see that. We're going to be keeping track, so you're going to want to stick around to the channels, Instagram particularly. We're going to be doing coverage on them as I track them. And I'm also going to, thinking about it this morning, I'm going to split a little bit of the tracking, watch what these guys are doing, but also keep an eye on the rest of this class that's racing these bikes, and just to kind of give you guys an idea of where everybody sits in it. So if you haven't already, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Chasing Waypoints. And then you're also going to want to follow Kove Moto USA as well. We'll be tagging them so they can share some of the stuff that's going on with them and with the team as well. So make sure you're following those guys, and we will do that. All right, next topic, and actually not to stray too far. Total plug here, and not really a advertisement kind of thing or anything like that. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It was absolutely awesome. So in my WhatsApp inbox, chilling, hanging out, doing my thing, and then all of a sudden I get a message, and it is from none other than Scotty Broman, the creator of the Baja Rally, and he forms part of the team. You Mauricio, Daniel, Matt, Jim, Willem, all these. You got a whole team around him now. Working the event and doing all that stuff. But Scotty sends me this link, and I'm like, what is this? I was privileged enough to see a recap video that by the end of the video, I felt like I had 6 cups of coffee and I was ready to spin wrenches. And even the wild ass idea of maybe even competing in the Baja Rally, or at least riding it. Well, maybe we'll do some stage verification, but they have a absolute, pardon my French, badass video coming out that recaps the 2024 Baja Rally. I know I'm dropping this a little bit early. Obviously, you guys haven't seen it. You're not going to see it, but I am telling you, you're going to want to make sure that you're tuned into their YouTube channel to catch this one. It is absolutely epic. The team over there that did the media on this absolutely crushed it with this video. Like I said, I loved it. There's probably like 60 views on it, and half of those are mine on it. I mean, I've just like played it a few times, watching it, looking for the details. And I mean, it's just, so good. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. It is coming up very shortly. Baja Rally just going off a few weeks back. Another great event. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of good times. Had a chance to sit down and talk with Willem. If you guys are following us on the YouTube channel, you would have seen that interview that we did. We were talking on one of the stages. I liked it. I wanted to do more of that, but usually when I'm there, I'm part of the rally comp team, and I do focus on tracking. So sometimes it gets a little bit difficult to just jump off and be able to do something like that, or be able to do something like that and keep an eye on tracking at the same time. So makes it a little bit difficult. I'll try and do more of it, but again, my priority is obviously the rider safety and keeping an eye on the guys, herding cats, if you will, making sure nobody's riding off into the sunset. And I got to stay focused on that one. So I don't know if you guys saw the video. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. If you're watching this on Spotify, you can do a comment thing or whatever. Or, you want to see more of that? You want to see less of that? What do you guys want to see? I've got a lot of guys that have been sending me messages. This is greatly appreciated. I'm working my way through it. Sometimes I get lost in the inbox because I get a ton of emails. Somebody put my email into some marketing thing. I don't know, because man, do I get a bunch of stuff out there. So let me, I'm cruising over to the Insta. Mark Ford over on the other side, building his Rally Pro. So I appreciate you chiming in and saying hello. And maybe one of these days I'll get my bike ready, and we'll be good to go. Maybe even share a ride. Let's see here. Then I had another guy contact me, and I will look for the email, but coming out of South Africa, which was really, really cool. It came at a time I'm like, damn, I haven't done an episode in a while. I haven't done this. And you know, they're getting into the Dakar, they're getting into the rally raid side of things. They're definitely having some fun. So I was blown away to see something like that, and I greatly appreciate it. I apologize. I should have prepared a little bit better, and I would have had your name, but don't worry. So I'll give you a shout out here in the next episode. We'll be talking about that. And so if you guys are looking for additional information and things like that, please let me know. I want to make sure I'm sharing the stuff that you guys want to hear about, that you guys want to see about. It's absolutely great. If you haven't already, if you're listening to this and I get to see it, we got a lot of listeners that are not subscribers. So I want to make sure, if you guys have not, if you want to help spread the word about rally and how things are going and some of the different coverage stuff, hit that subscribe button. That obviously helps us no matter what platform you're on. If you're hearing this on Instagram, if you're hearing this on YouTube, if you're hearing this on Spotify, if you're hearing this on, I don't know, there's like 10 other channels, Amazon, there's a bunch of them. Anyway, but it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. That way the podcast continues to grow. The algorithms and whatnot say, okay, you know, maybe this guy is kind of interesting. People listen to him. So we'll see about that. But anyway, okay, so Baja Rally done, Baja 1000 done. And now let's talk a little bit about what is coming up this week on the channels. If you haven't already, you'll find the link that's going to be down below. And that is going to be for the interview. We had a chance, and we got a huge shout out to Lizzie for making this happen. A little bit of cattle prodding going on there to get me to get going on it. It actually turned out really, really good. As you guys can kind of see, I've left it blurry on purpose because, yeah. As you guys can see, we've got the Adventure Taco Studios pretty much set up. We've got, you know, soundproofing. We did all of these things just to try and make sure that we get the best possible quality. You guys are going to see it. We had a chance to sit down and talk with Taco Mike from Taco Moto Co. So absolutely awesome conversation. You know, it was really, really cool. So the first video that's going to drop for you guys, and again, if you're listening to the podcast, the link is going to be in the description. It was cool. You know, it was really, really awesome to sit down and talk with him, find out a little bit about what Taco Moto means, represents, how it got started, what the mantra is behind it, finding out a little bit more about Mike and what he's done, you know, and how he's gone to it. And it was really inspirational. Like, you know, I think he's doing it right, you know, and it is definitely, it's shown because the company continues to grow, more and more things coming. The graphic kits, I should not have gone on there. Now I want one of their graphics kits for the Kove. So we'll see what we could do there. I got an idea and see if maybe he goes for it. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Absolutely stoked on that one. And now we got a chance to sit down and talk with him a little bit about it. So first interview is going to be dropping. For the rest of the world, it's going to premiere on Wednesday at 8 o'clock at night. If not, if you guys, again, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm dropping a link. It's a private link. It's one of those links that only people with the link can view. So if you guys want to sit down, check it out. It's about 40 minutes long, where we're talking about, you know, the origin story of Taco Moto Co. And then in about another week or so, I'm going through it right now, we're going to drop the video where we're talking about bikes and building bikes and some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We talk a little bit about the Kove. We talk a little bit about Honda. We talk a little bit about different bike builds, some of the Austrian stuff coming out of, you know, the Huska, Gaska, Katum, you know, KTM, Gas, Husqvarna brands, you know, a little bit about those bikes as well, a little bit about product development. You know, it's really, really cool. It was a really, really great conversation, totally nerding out on it. And then we're going to be working together on getting you guys more information about the Kove. So we had a really good chat about the Kove, both on air and off air, and talking about, you know, some of the different points on the bike, some of the information about what works on the bike, what you can do, what kind of mods, what kind of things. And so I'm looking forward to bringing that information to you guys alongside with Mike from Taco Moto Co. I got the Pro in the garage. Garage is being cleaned up slowly. I'm making some room for it. I'm finding that it's like, I want to get started, but I got to clean this. I got to make this look good. I got to make this. And I think there's quickly going to be a point where it's even going to be tough for me to remember to record what I'm doing. But I've already got a couple of videos, including some stuff from Luxon MX. They do they do triple clamps for the bikes. They do some different mounts. They got a couple of different options going on. And honestly, it's sick. It's dialed. I've used these. I changed them on the Husky. I know I'm jumping around a little bit. And so we're working on, I was working on the Husky. I was working on getting it to the point where it would be a rally bike. It would respond more like a rally bike. And then we could get I should say, and we could get a little bit more of stability out of the rally bike, get a little bit going as far as the length of the bike. There's a few different setup changes that I made, and that involved doing the triple clamp part of it. You know, that was a secret that was dropped down from Mason that told me a little bit about how these bikes are getting set up overseas for the Dakar. And so I wanted to try and mimic that. And what I stumbled across was that Luxon MX right here in San Diego actually makes the offset triple clamps for the Huskies, for Hondas and a few other bikes. And, you know, really bitchin' machine job. I mean, they're really like, they are a dialed setup. The workmanship on it, the bolts, Billy over there, just like he knows what he's doing on this thing. And it absolutely changed the Husky. I dare say that I didn't have a mounting solution right away for a Scott steering stabilizer. After Ty Davis helped me set that up, you know, shed some light on how you set up a Scott stabilizer to work in a way where it's there, but it's not. I was absolutely stoked on it. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And now with this, adding the triple clamps and having to actually not miss it because I wasn't able to mount it on there, to not miss the fact that I had a steering stabilizer and the way the bike was reacting and the way the suspension felt. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that happens on these bikes that sometimes they can share, they could set up, that you do little things, little tricks, and it ends up making the bike a little bit better. It's not about completely redesigning the bike. And as you guys are going to find out when you hear that episode, I'll just share one of the key points right now is we haven't found its Achilles heel yet. We haven't found that one thing that says, yeah, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. Haven't done it. So I am absolutely excited to see how this happens, how this goes down, you know, how the bike progresses. Things are just going. And we've got street legal versions now ready to go, 50 state legal, with KYB shocks now, or KYB suspension on it. I have one of the older generations. I just did a Showa swap. That was what I was planning on doing. So even from the get-go, it just so happened to land that I needed to get suspension for it. This bike was ridden. This bike was used. This bike was put through the ringer. So, but what I am looking at does not look like a bike that was put through the ringer. It looks like a bike that was ridden about maybe 10 hours or so. It's dusty. It's got some dirty. It's got some boot marks. It's got some stuff. Skid plate, you know, it's been a little bit, but you know, you're going to ride in Southern California. Unfortunately, we got whoops, we've got sand, and we've got rocks. It's going to happen. So with that being said, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things coming. But I'm absolutely, that is the first episode here at the new studio. I'm absolutely excited about it. I mean, yeah, I'm stoked. So it's been a little bit since we've talked. It's been a little bit since we've chatted, and I am definitely going to take a little bit of time in getting these episodes out to you guys. We'll return back to our regular posting schedule, especially with the Dakar Rally coming up. Dakar Rally is coming up, the 2025 iteration of it. You've got the chrono stage that's back and better. You've got the marathon stage as well. They didn't get rid of that, as I suspected they may. You got a lot more sand. You got a lot more varying as far as the layout is concerned. It's going to be awesome this year, and I'm looking forward to bringing it. We got a lot of stuff coming on. You guys will be seeing some of the plans and some of the pre-shows coming up soon. Right now we're working on the partnership side of things. get a few different get a few different guests on the show to talk a little bit about their products and their brands and help promote that, but also as a direct connection to the Dakar, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on, even for our guys here stateside that are going to be headed out to the Dakar Rally. You know, there's a lot of prep going on. There's a lot of things that you got to do to get the bike lined up. And not only the bike lined up, but damn, you're about to put yourself through the ringer for 2 weeks on end. Oh, and you have one rest day. So definitely want to keep an eye on that one. So we're going to definitely talk about that, all that stuff. As we're making these plans and getting ready for the Dakar, I want to say that you guys, the listeners, you guys that are here, either watching this or listening to this, you know, I want to make sure we share the information. We share the stuff that you guys want to know about. What are the questions that don't get answered? You know, when you watch the reviews, when you watch the recaps, what would you like to know more about? So send me a message. You could do it through here on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, you could either send it, post it in the comments, or feel free to send us a message directly on Instagram as well. And that way we can kind of filter it and figure out and see what we can incorporate into the show. Again, I want to make sure that you guys are getting the information and hearing about the stuff you want to know. And hey, it's a learning experience for me too. So guys, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are out or riding. It's the winter here in California. The bikes are not built, and that is totally my fault. So it's time to get them built so I could get out and riding before it gets really, really too cold. So absolutely excited for that. We will see you guys on the next episode. Remember, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. And most importantly, it'll make sense when you get there. Enjoy the ride.